So we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning. My name is Mike Moe, and I'm the Director of Strategic Partnership and Tourism Development for the State of Washington Tourism. And it is my pleasure to be with you today to discuss the $3.5 million EDA grant awarded to SWT from the Department of Commerce here in Washington. Today, I'm going to provide an overview of the 9 programs this money will fund over the next 2 years, along with timelines and amounts. There will also be webinars for each specific program a couple weeks before the application period opens for their respective grants. So there will be more information coming. I'm going to be monitoring the chat and Q&A, and we have Matthew Ozuna who's doing the same in the background. So feel free to ask questions. For the most part, I'm going to wait until the end of the presentation, and then I'll answer questions. Matthew, if he'll be answering questions as you go too. As you guys know, here, I'm going to share my screen here real quick. There we go. As you know, since being refunded in 2018, the mission of State of Washington Tourism has always been more than just about marketing our state. Obviously, the work that Michelle Thana and her marketing team does to draw domestic visitors, and the work that Lisa Cruz and our travel trade team does to encourage international travel will always be central to SWT. But as a modern management organization, SWT will continue to provide resources and expertise for our rural and underserved destinations. Tourism provides jobs, economic development, and opportunities. However, without structure and planning, tourism can also create a negative impact. The role of our destination development team is to provide the tools necessary to envision what tourism can be for our communities, not just for visitors, but also for residents, and then help destinations find the resources necessary to bring their tourism vision to life. So in October, SWT and our grant committee selected the winners of our Sustainable Tourism Grant. And while it was certainly gratifying to invest $125,000 in tourism ventures around the state, over $1.3 million was requested from our applicants to fund worthwhile projects. So much more is needed. Now, the good news is that this summer, the Department of Commerce opened a $3.5 million opportunity, and this is language from Commerce, provide grants around the state that will allow award recipients to conduct the necessary planning and activities needed to continue to recover from the pandemic and build capacity and resiliency to restart projects that will increase tourism, generate new revenue, and create living wage jobs. So this is something I've been thinking about for a long time, and I've been really excited to actually have the money necessary to have a real destination development program. And Dave and Michelle helped with that vision for what we could do with this money. And then Matthew Ozuna wrote a beautiful, 65-page proposal that communicated our vision. And I'm excited to announce that the teamwork put in by SWT resulted in our organization being selected by Commerce to administer this grant. So this grant will allow us to ramp up our destination development program like never before, and it will fund 9 different programs in 2024 and 2025. The total amount awarded will be $3.56 million, and as I've said, allocated by the end of 2025. A special emphasis will be made to help rural and underserved destinations. Now, in the past, there have been a lot of questions about, what's the definition of rural? Compared to Seattle, Yakima is rural, but Yakima is the big city compared to Entiat. I would worry less about the definition of rural and focus more on the area of need. And before we go through these programs, I want to mention that though we're very excited for this program, this is what a state office should be doing every year. For example, Travel Oregon had a $3.6 million grant program just in 2023. So they invested in 1 year, but we're going to be investing in 2. So just moving forward, as we're working to be a fully funded state tourism office, this is the kind of investment we want to be making in our communities every year. So the process for each program will be similar. We've purchased a grant management platform called WiseHive to streamline the process, and we'll show you how to make an application on that program in the program-specific webinars. We'll also share with you the criteria by which your application will be judged. And for each grant, we'll form a committee of tourism experts to assess each application and determine the apparent grantees. From there, we will put together a contract to be signed by both parties. And you should know this is federal EDA money. And so there are a few more strings and qualifiers than the normal grants that come from SWT. For example, you will need a UEI number. That's a unique entity ID. If you don't know what that is, check out sam.gov. That's sam.gov to register for one for free. Once the grantees have signed their contracts, SWT will make the request of commerce for the grant money, which will then turn over to the grantee. There is one exception to that in one of the programs that I'll explain later. We will have an estimation of when we'll be able to pay the grantee, but we won't be able to turn the money over to you until the commerce turns the money over to us. So keep that in mind, and that the payment dates will be only estimated. We're kind of on commerce timeline as well. Once you have the money, you have 12 months to use the money. You will be expected to, we'll be checking in with you quarterly with our new grant coordinator or destination development coordinator who we're hiring here in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll have you do a 6-month report and then a final 12-month report. So right now, I'm going to go through each program, and I know you'll have a lot of questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. I have a lot for time at the end for Q&A. And don't forget, there's those individual webinars for each grant coming up leading into the application periods. So first, I want to introduce our Rural Tourism Marketing and Production Grant. This grant will specifically help underserved and underfunded communities to create assets like photos and videos and content that can be used to market their destination. Just so you know, this is not about, we're not funding marketing campaigns. We're funding the basic tools you need to then market yourself. And there's lots of ways you can do that very inexpensively through social media and newsletters, that sort of thing. And there will be a grant later on that you can apply for grants. One thing you should also keep in mind when you're budgeting for this grant is usage rights. That's very important. Often when you talk to photographers, you think you're buying the photos that you can use forever, but that's not necessarily the case. You have to negotiate usage rights, and SWT will also need usage rights to be able to sell your community. The next one is the Sports Incentivization Grant. And if you wonder if I used kids playing soccer with my son, yes, I did, because there's kids playing soccer. I've got lots of those photos. Anyway, this grant will specifically, this grant will be run in application period in February of 2024 and 2025. Many of our communities have invested in sports fields and arenas to attract sports tournaments and competitions. These events often draw overnight visitors and can be an economic boon to a small destination. This grant is intended to help nonprofit entities incentivize new sports tournaments or competitions to spur economic activity. Successful applicants will be able to reserve dollars from a pool to help pay down room nights or provide amenities pending a successful bid. And so this one, you actually, before you get the dollars, you actually have to have a signed contract with the event. If your bid is ultimately unsuccessful, those dollars will stay in the pool and to be available to other applicants that will be on a ranked wait list. Hopefully that all makes sense. Again, I can explain it later, or we can wait for the individual grant conversation on January 30th. Next up is our Rural Tourism and Data Grant. This is intended to help our rural communities discover and share critical information that can improve efficiency, sustainability, and overall economic impact of their local tourism industry. So hopefully you'll be able to, prove that the economic impact of tourism to your area, and hopefully that'll help you unlock dollars in various sources. We'll also be introducing our Arts and Culture Grant. This will be intended for the promotion and management of art shows, concerts, festivals, and events, as well as museums, historic sites, and cultural institutes that drive overnight stays and visitor spending in destination communities. We will be opening a tribal tourism marketing and production grant. This is just the same kind of grant as we talked about before. This will help our tribal communities develop tourism assets and content. So again, photos, video, written content. This will only be open for our tribal communities. This grant will also allow us to continue our already successful rural tourism support program. This program provides expertise, funding to jumpstart tourism in rural communities. There will be one rural tourism support program in 2024 and one in 2025. And I'm telling you, we've already done one in northeastern Washington. Did one last year in north central Washington, and right now we're going through it in Walla Walla. And If you want something to bring your community together around tourism and envision what tourism can be in your area and then create that momentum with leaders in your community, this program does that. So please think about applying in next spring, because this is a really exciting program that we're investing in these communities. In 2024, we'll be bringing back our technical assistance grant, which unfortunately we had to drop this year due to our budget constraints. This grant will subsidize the cost of industry-specific expertise for tourism-related projects that stimulate economic development for destination communities. For example, if a community would like to start an agritourism project, but they need help with the structure or the marketing of the program, you can use this grant to pay for a consultant to help you launch a successful program. Our tourism regeneration grant, that will replace our sustainable tourism grant for the next 2 years. It'll be open in the fall, and this will help destinations foster safer, more inclusive, and sustainable visitor experience in the state, and help you draw overnight visitors. This more than doubles the grants that we've had the last couple of years. And so we're very excited about this one. This is a much broader grant. So most of the projects that you might be thinking of that maybe didn't fit in those other buckets would fit in this bucket. And finally, we will be initiating our first tribal rural tourism support program in 2025. And so we're very excited about this. And so this will, again, only be open for tribal communities. It'll, again, be about giving tools necessary to envision what you'd want for tourism to be in your community. It's important to note that the RTS program is not about SWT telling a destination how to make tourism. It's about helping a destination discover their own vision for tourism and then supporting that vision. So those are the programs. I'm going to make this bigger. Stop share. There we go. And if you would like to, if you have questions, I can answer them now. Let's see here. We've got, get into the chat. The EDA, Sarah asked the EDA's definition of rural. It's not really about the EDA's definition of rural. I don't know the answer to that right now. I can find out for you. I don't know the answer. Is there a grant that can be utilized for transportation? Meredith asks. That would probably fit in the regeneration grant.
That's right, Mike, and I got everyone before that, so
Okay.
the chat is good.
All right. 9 destinations. Okay, Matt, I'm sure Matt answered this, but 9 destinations funded. Does that mean there will only be 9 grant requests that are funded? No. Hopefully you saw on many of those they have buckets of money with max requests. There will be many more than just 9, I think. Okay, reading a lot more questions here. Okay. Does the tribe themselves have to apply for the tribal grant, or does the destination? I'm not 100% sure what you need, but I think it would have to be like, Erica, if you're in Experience Olympia, I would not expect you to apply on behalf of the Nisqually tribe. Like I'd want the Nisqually tribe to be doing that themselves. Will those webinar dates be sent out again? Yes, they will be sent out again, and we'll follow up with an email with the relevant dates, and subscribe to our newsletter, because those will be blasting out all sorts of information leading up to the webinars. Would hotels fit into any category? Unfortunately, we're not able to give grants to private businesses, and so you'd have to work with your DMO or your chamber or a nonprofit organization or your city. Can we apply for multiple grant programs? Yes, you can. Can one project be funded by multiple grants if it falls under multiple categories? Maybe. You have to really make your case there, I think. Do you need to be a 501c3 for these grants? You can definitely be a 501c6. Most DMOs and chambers are 501c6 membership-based nonprofits, so you do not have to be a 501c3. And Marcia, I think I've answered your question, and you're the one who alerted me to be careful because we can't give away these dollars to private businesses. Can a organization answer that one? You can apply for more than one grant. Wayfinding signage through a waterfront park. I look at the regeneration grant for that one. Is there a list of grants that we can see? Yes, we'll be sending you a list. I know I kind of went through that fast. This is really just supposed to be an overview, but we will send you out a follow-up email with all the grants, and we're working on a web page on our website that will have everything, all the relevant information. Are the grants only for planning and programming, marketing, or can capital improvements be funded for these grants? We have funded capital improvements through our sustainable tourism grant, and so the regenerative grant would fit that. And that's the same thing. Do these grants require matching funds? No. We'd love to see that a community is investing along with the money, and so that can be used in when we're looking at an application. We like to see matching funds. That doesn't necessarily preclude you from not having matching funds, but that we definitely want to see. All these projects we want to be we want to be sustainable. We want them to be generating tourism for years to come, and so we would love to see a community also invest in a project. Can fiscally sponsored orgs apply? Siobhan, I need a little bit more information on what you mean by that. Did I hear you correctly that each program will have its own webinar? Yes. For now, Matthew will be the point person at SWT. We are hiring another staff member, hopefully the next couple of weeks here, who will then kind of be the point person along with myself. And so between the three of us, we will be managing this program. I'm launching a community-wide scavenger hunt to help bring tourists here in the Columbia River Gorge. It is an LLC. Yes, you would need to work with your local chamber for that. Yeah, we'll provide a list of criteria. There's no there's no criteria with how long an organization has to be in business or yearly income. It's really, are you a nonprofit? Are you a city or local government? Are you basically we can't give money to businesses. $10 be set on media spending or for just the production of the campaign. I assume you're talking about the marketing asset production grant, and it's really it's not for media spending. It's for the production of creating the assets. The arts and culture grant will be available. The application period opens March 15th. And so the dollars would be allocated most likely in June. Would hiring a collections care expert for museum qualify under the tech program? No, you can't use it for that. We can't pay for employees. We really only you can pay for consultants, but not employees. I understand that. Our follow-up email will have the dates of the individual program webinars. We'll send out a whole little chart. Because it's federal dollars, we provide fully audited financial statements. I don't know the answer to that. Ashley, I will get back to you. Ashley Blake, I will get back to you on that one. The marketing word, please specify what this grant is for. Here, let me go back here. So the rural tourism marketing production grant is really about helping underserved and underfunded communities develop tourism assets like photos, videos, written content. It's not to fund marketing campaigns, if that makes sense. It's really, a lot of destinations, they would love to market themselves. They don't have the assets necessary to do that. So a lot of our small communities. And so it's really about helping them develop those assets and content. I hope that answers the question there. And Katya, feel free to reach out to us if that didn't answer. When will the tech grant be open? The tech grant. Technical assistance grant. It's not really a tech grant. The technical assistance grant is really for, it's not around like technology. It's really around expertise that you can hire a consultant to help you with a specific program. So if you have like agritourism, or you want to create a food trail or something like that, that's what that's for. Do any of these programs cover capital expenses? Like I said, in the regeneration grant, you can, capital expenses is kind of the definition is a little wonky, but you can create things. Like we've funded wheelchair ramps and shelters and different things through that grant program. Could you clarify how the 2024 and 2025 timelines differ? Are there two grant request windows, one for each year? Yes, that's a good question. We've split the money for each of these grants in half. So you'll have one opportunity in 2024 and one opportunity in 2025. Okay, do we have, oh, there's a Q. I haven't gotten to the Q&A yet. There we go. Okay, Katya.
Yeah, Mike, I've started to answer a few of these in writing, but you can answer the ones that are left.
Would a rodeo apply? Yeah, I think a rodeo would definitely apply for a sports incentivization grant. Rodeo is a sport. And the idea around the sports incentivization grant and the criteria, we'll get more into it later in the specific webinar, but it's really about bringing overnight visitors to your area. And so if you can find, a baseball tournament or soccer tournament or a rodeo, and it brings people to stay in your city or town, that's what we want to help support. For a photography grant, how would a drone photographer go about getting the grant? Or is it the company place that wants to hire the drone photographer? Would he have to have his chamber support him? Yes, he's a small business. I think Matt actually answered that one. As a private business, it's really about helping the small organizations, the chambers, that sort of thing, hire people like a drone photographer to come help create those assets. Regarding the sports incentivization grant, do the grants have to be in place before the application? No. You can apply for it before you get the money. You have to have a contract. The idea is that we don't want to have somebody bid or apply for the money. We give them the money and then they lose their bid and then have to pay back the money. That just seems a little messy. And so the money will stay in a pool. And then once you have a contract signed, if you are a successful applicant, like we'll divvy out all the money to the successful applicants. We'll say you are a successful applicant for this money. Once we get the money from Commerce and once you have a signed contract, we will give you the money. Now, sometimes what might happen, even though you might have an amazing incentive program or bid, if you are unsuccessful, then you have to let us know so that money can then go to somebody else. If that makes sense. Jen Tate wants to make sure that any drone pilot's FAA certified. Okay. Is a sport just athletic competitions, or could it include active recreation? I think active recreation would be fine. Again, if it's like a trail running event or something like that. Again, what we want to see though is that it's going to bring overnight visitors to your area. So somebody asks on the sports and okay, hang on. sport incentivization program, I want to clarify that funds can be used only when you have the bid secured. So you cannot use the funds as part of the bid. So the idea is that we're guaranteeing you funds, right? So if you're a successful applicant and you have there's an event that you want to bid on, you can apply to this program. We will guarantee you the funds, so then you can make it part of your bid. That's the idea around it. These amazing opportunities will be posted on the SWT website. Yes. Oh, good. Michelle's on. All right. What if the event helps hotels in a neighboring community? Hopefully that means that all the hotels are full in your community, so that's a good thing. Yes, we're working on a landing page. We don't have a link yet to the site, so we'll follow up an email to all the attendees or all the registrants with many of the questions that you've asked, and then we will also let you know when we have a landing page ready. Is esports or robot combat considered a sport? Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, there's going to be a fuzzy line at some point there, but I think so. And again, you need to prove that, or let us know that this is going to bring people to your town. Are you sharing the slide deck? Yeah, we can do that as well. Oh, no hotels in your community, Maggie. That's fine. I mean, if you can bring hotel, as long as people are coming, that's great. When will the technical assistance grant be open? It'll be open on April 15th. No, the funds, Paul, the funds shown on the presentation for each program are the funds for that year. And again, I kind of went through this fast, but it does say the dollars will be allocated. So like for the technical assistance fund, we have $75,000 that will be allocated each year. And the max grant is $15,000. Okay. I'm going to share this one more time because I think I went through it too fast. Okay. So our rural tourism marketing production, that
Mike, I think you have the wrong screen up.
I have the wrong screen now. Sorry.
Yeah. You're trying to share your PowerPoint slide?
Yeah, hang on. Is that better?
Yes, now we can see it. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you for letting me know. So the Rural Tourism Marketing Production Grant will open February 1st. We'll do a webinar January 23rd. The funds hopefully will be provided to the successful applicants in late April. And again, it really we are working with Commerce, so we have to make the money from Commerce to then give it to you. Sports Incentivization Grant, that will be opening February 15th. We're doing a January 30th webinar. And again, that will hopefully be available probably in late April, early May. Rural Tourism Research and Data Grant. The application period opens March 1st. Do a webinar on the 13th. And then hopefully the money will come in May. Arts and Culture. March 15th is the open of the application. February 28th is the webinar. And then hopefully you'll get money in June. And again, I have there's $162,500 that is available for this grant. And by the way, you should know that we have a couple that are tribal specific. Tribes are more than welcome to apply for this. And the max grant is $30,000. Travel, tourism, production, and marketing is April 1st, webinar March 13th. Rural Tourism Support Program will open April 1st. Again, and I don't know if I had said this, but all of the application periods will be 1 month. So you'll have a full month to apply for this program. Technical Assistance opens April 15th, webinar April 2nd, funds coming in June, hopefully. Tourism Regeneration, this will open September 1st. We'll be doing a webinar August 14th, and hopefully have the funds out by November. And this Rural Tourism Support Program opens on October 1st. This is like a 9-month program that will most likely would start in kind of January 2025. So hopefully that helps. And again, I talk fast. So all right. Yeah, don't forget to sign up for our industry newsletter. Michelle put it in the chat. Or somebody put Matt, can you put the link in the chat? Michelle just host and panelists. If you go to our website, industry.stateofwatourism.com, you'll find the newsletter sign up and a whole bunch of other information there. And so if you haven't gone to our website and checked it out recently, it's there's a lot going on. Marianne and Michelle did an amazing job. Okay. I think we've answered all the questions for now. I really appreciate you all taking your time. Again, this has been I've been really excited to share this with you. We were trying to get it done by the State Tourism Conference, but it didn't happen. But we're excited now. And big thanks to the Department of Commerce, who is investing in us so we can invest in you. Again, we're very excited to really launch this program, and we think it's going to do big things for our state and the tourism industry. So thank you all, and I will be sending out a link to this recording along with all the relevant dates and information. And I hope to see you on our the grant specific webinars starting in January. So thanks all. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.